In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to set up Lexical. It is the tag editor that is created by Facebook, and this is what it looks like. You can go into the playground. I leave the link in the description to see what it's like. And it's really nice. It has a lot of functionality that you can use for your rich tag editor. So right now, let's try to set it up. So to set it up, you can go into the documentation and click on Get Started. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up inside your React.js project. And also, if you wanted to use with Vanilla.js, they have also a get started on how to do it as well. So this is like the documentation, okay? So for the React, you can go into React right here and then go into Introduction and get started. So inside this documentation, there's a video tutorial on show you how to do it as well. And also, there's like a code that you can run and see the project, and this is like the code right here. It is a lot of codes from this one, but what I'm going to do in this video is just try to break it down, all of this code, and try to set it up from scratch. And you can, when you come back and see all of the code right here, you will be a little bit better understanding of what it does right here. All right, so I'm going to try to reference and copy and paste from this code right here. All right, okay. So right now, what we're going to do first, we're going to install this tool library with this right here inside your React project, which I already did. I already installed this one. So this is my Next.js project. And so the next step that we're going to do is just copy and paste this one. So I'm going to copy and paste this one. Let's go back inside the editor. I have my editor component right here. So I'm going to just copy and paste this one. So I have something written before. I'm going to remove this one. And this is going to be a client component. So we can use the use client. And then if you are using with pure React project, you don't have to. This is just because I'm using with Next.js. And I'm going to cast the arrow, this one, to any because I do not know the type of it. And then for the editor right here, I think we need to do exports and then do default right here. So export default, this function, and I'm going to wrap around the style of this one, so right here. So maybe let me show you what it's like first. So right now, this is what we just copy and paste, and inside the page, I have this one import inside my page right here. Okay, great. So right now, if we go back, so if we refresh, so this is what it looked like. It's just blank. It's nothing's going on. It's not looking really good. So I prepared the styles before. So I'm going to convert it to something like this. So first, I just adding like the background slate, and then it looks something like this. And then if we go back to editor, I'm going to undo what I have written here. And then we can just do this one. And right now you can see, right now it's look a lot better. And then for the content editable right here, which is this one, we can do another one, which is going to set the focus on this one to outline to none. And then right now it looks something like this, which is really nice. Okay, so when you type something right here, it worked really well. Okay, so right now, the next thing that I'm going to do is try to explain you what this one does. So if you look at the code right here, so we have the Lexical composer that inside this composer, we can put a lot of plugins. So as you can see, we have the rich text plugins and we have history plugin, the autofocus plugin. And if you want to learn more about those plugins, you can go into this plugin right here. And for the Lexical composer right here, you can think of it like the React context. And then so whatever component that you put between it, inside it, you can access to the Lexical composer, the editor object. So this is really nice when you use it for the create the toolbar and things like that, which we will gonna do it later. Okay, so inside here we have the initial config. We have the namespace. So the namespace right here, you can name this whatever you want. And we have the themes. So right now it's empty. And then also we have the on arrow function right here that's going to catch an arrow. So right now let's take a look at the theme. What is this themes? So the theme here is really important on how you're going to style your tag editor and what it's going to look like. So let's go into this one, the theming. And this is what it look like. And I'm going to scroll to the example theme right here. So I'm going to just copy and paste this one. Just copy this. And then I'm going to paste it right here. And then we're going to use it right here. So instead of the theme, I'm going to paste it right here. And then we can remove this one. So right now, if we go to our tag editor, there's nothing changed. So when we type, there's nothing going on. But what this theme is responsible is how you're going to style your editor. So for example, inside our editor is going to have paragraph, it's going to have the heading and things like that, right? Inside the theme, so as you can see, we have the paragraph, we have the heading, we have a list, we have the image, we have like whatever text we have here. So for example, the paragraph right here, we have the value editor paragraph. So this value is referent to the class name. It's going to be referent if you write your own CSS. This is going to be your class, CSS class. But if you're going to write it with Tailwind, so it's going to be like, for example, it text blue 500. You can do whatever you want inside here. For example, text to XL and things like that. Right now, we refresh this one. If we type again, so you can see this is text XL and then text blue 500. So this is like how you're going to style it. For example, and the heading, you can just change the heading. So this is how you're going to style the element inside your text editor. Great. So this is how to set it up. So the next step that we're going to do is to create the plugins that the toolbar. So for example, when we click on bold, and this thing is going to be bold and things like that. All right. So for that, we need to create the component right here. It's going to be toolbars.tsx, and then we can run this one, this toolbar. Inside this toolbar, we can access to editor the objects, which is we can use the lexical, composer, context, and then inside here, you can access to editor, this one right here. Great. And right now, when you use this component, make sure it's between the lexical composer. If you use it outside like this, it's not going to work. Right now, we can put the toolbar inside this one. And we go back, we go this one. So we have our toolbar. So right now, let's try to do like bold. So for example, I'm going to create the button that's responsible for bold. And so we can do something like this. So when this on click, the bold on click, what we can do the editor dot dispatch command. And the command right here, what it does is going to format our text to be bold and things like that, right? So Lexical has it's built in for you. You can just do like the format text command right here. And this is the value that you want to format. So you want to format to code, to bold, to italic, and things like that. So right now we want it to be bold. And if you want it to be italic, so for example, this is going to be I, right? This is I, and then we can do like this is format into italic. Great. And maybe I think I can style this one to italics text as well. So if we go back right now, we have the B and the I. Maybe we can have a little bit of spacings. Let's do space X of this one to 3. So it has a little bit of spacing. Great. So right now, when we go in this one, when I type bold, when I select and type bold, so you can see right now our text is bold. So it's working. And then if we select the text again, and then if I type on italic, it's not going to italic. So let's see why it's not working. So I think for this one, you need to go into the theme that you set up, and then you can try to change this one right here. So for example, the italic right here, you can change this one is going to be italic. So this is going to be the CSS. This is going to be the Tailwind class for italic. I'm not sure like bold why it's work as well. Maybe if I refresh and do it again, I think it's not going to work. Oh, it still work. Maybe it's convert this one to strong, which is strong as bold as well. But for italic, since we change right now, if we click on it again, so you can see it is become italic right now. And for bold, maybe I can go to set up this font to bold. And for the paragraph right here, I'm not going to do anything. So I'm just leave this blank, and the color should be inherit. So you can see right now we can say hello world. And then if we want to bold, we can click on bold. It's bold. Nice. And everything is bold right now. And then if I want this part to be italic, and it's become italic. Great. So right now, the next step, I think for this toolbar is not working functional properly. We wanted to like, see, okay, when it's bold, we know that, okay, it's bold and things like that. And for that, we can take a look at this code. And so for this one, so first we can create like a state to check if it is bold or if it's italic. So I can copy and paste this code right here and go to toolbar. And so we can have this one. So let's try to set this one right here. And right here, they're going to use the hook right here. So they're going to create this update toolbar. We can just copy and paste this one. This update toolbar, it's going to import the use callbacks, use get selects right here. And then we have the is range select as well. And then I'm going to remove this one. So because we're going to focus on is bold and italic only. So what this function is responsible is something like that. So something like this. So for example, if you select this one, if it's bold, it will show you that, okay, this is bold. And if it's italic, it's going to show you if it's italic. So whenever you do the movement inside this one right here. And so when we have this function to use this one, you can go into this use effect right here. There's a lot of use effects. Maybe we can just copy everything. And I'm going to remove the unnecessary things right here. So I'm just going to do this one right here. I think for merge right here, we don't really need it right now. Maybe we can remove it and we can come back and use it later. And it looks like I'm missing some things, maybe which is this one right here. Let's see. The editor, and then I'm not sure which one I'm missing. Okay, let's try to run it back. This one. Okay, all right, I see. So right now we can have this one. And when we remove the merge, and this should work. So I just need to import this one from React, and this is all good. So this one, the editor right here, just listens this updates on our tag editor. So whenever we run on this one, when we type on this one, this is going to run. And when it's run, we're gonna do the editor.read, and then we call this function. So this function, what is responsible, we're gonna do like, okay, if this part that the user on is bold or italic and things like that, it's gonna set this one. Since right now we have this like a Boolean value right here, we can use this value to update our state to look it's a lot better. So for example, inside this class name right here, what we can do is to update this one to look a lot better. I'm gonna give the size of this one to, let's say, 8, and BG, let's say if it is bold, we're gonna do BG gray 200. All right, and then we're gonna do this one. Right now, as you can see, it's bold, and maybe I think for this one, to make it better, we can do rounded this one to MD as well. Nice. So if we click again, this is not bold. And if we click, it's bold. And then, for example, if right now it's click to unbold this one, but if I click on this one, because this part right here is bold, right? So right now, that's why it's bold. And if I click undo this one, I select this one, it's not bold. If I click on this one again, so you can see it's worked really nice. And so we can do the same things for the italic right here. Right now, let's do is italic, italic. And then for this one, it's going to be is italic right here. And right now, so if I hover on one of italic, so you can see it's italic. So for example, if we select on this one, if I convert this one to bold, everything is bold. And then if I convert this one to italic, so it's italic. And then, yeah, so I guess this is it. It's really nice. It's working really great. So this is how you create like a toolbar. Nice. So right now you know what this is, what it's do right here. You can go into the documentation, like the code right here. So now you understand what it does. So it's a lot better for me to go like through to show you like the whole things right here. If you do not know like where I get this one, it is from this one right here. This is like run a project. It's from Stackblade. You can just click here. It will open. Nice. So let's see what we do next. I think one thing that the example here did not show you is the heading. So the heading is like, for example, if you can want to convert the text to H1, H2 and things like that. And to do that is a little bit different. And to do it, so I'm going to create another, this one, it is going to be the H1. So for example, this is going, when you click, it's going to do the H1. And maybe let's try to keep the same style of this one. So let's try to remove this one. Okay, so for the on-click on this one, so for heading, I'm going to create another function. This is going to be handle heading. And so for this one, I'm going to do, what we need to do is just go to editor.update. And then we're gonna have the arrow function right here. So what we want to update is, let's say, all right, so right now the user select this one, they want to convert this selection into the heading, which is like, for example, H1 or H2 or H3, whatever they wanted to update. Okay, and right now what they need to do is just going to get the selection. So I'm gonna have the selection is equal to the selection. This is the same thing that we do right here. We have the selection right here. After we have this selection, and then we're gonna check if, I think it's the same style as this one. Great. All right. And the next step that we're going to do is to set the block, but this one is going to from the another library, which is the lexical selection. So we need to install another library, which is lexical / selections. And I think this one right here. Yeah, this one. And then we need to run the pmi, this one right here. Okay, so while it's installing, we can use it. So this one is what we do is going to use the set block type and this one right here. And then we pass the selection that we select, and we going to create the heading node. All right, so we're gonna do this one. This is create the heading node. So the creating heading node is one is need to install from the other library, which is lexical rich editor, the rich text right here. So you need to install another library, and then we're gonna do pms I install this one again, and then after it's complete, we should be able to create heading nodes, this one, and this is the value that you wanted to create. So for example, if you want to create an H1, you can put an H1 here. If you want to create an H2, you can put H2. So right now let's try to put the H1, and this one, when it's called, you can just call this function. Okay, great. So handle heading. Right now if we go back, if we go here and I click, nothing happened. So the reason that is nothing happened is because we need to go into our editor, we need to go our theme, and then we need to update this one. So what is going to look like for our H1. So the text, let's say 3XL, font is going to go into bold. And for this one, right now, let's try to refresh it. And so you can do hello, and then you can do select on this one. You can do, all right. So right now it looked like it's not working. Okay, I forgot one more thing, that when we do that, we need to add the notes into this one. So the notes of this one, it need to have the heading as well. So we have to put the heading notes. Wait a moment, I need to check the reference code right here. Yeah, so this is going to be the heading note. Heading notes. This is from the rich text editor, right? This one. Okay, let's save this one. And right now, if we're gonna do hello, and we're gonna do this one, as you can see right now, it's convert this one to the hello, to the heading. And for this one, it's gonna, everything is gonna be a heading. Right now, it's going to be back to paragraph. And for the heading, if we wanted to italic, it's gonna be italic right here. Okay, great. So that's how you convert this one. And I think that is all. Maybe I think if you wanted to like create a custom this one, you can do a loop, and then of all the heading, and then for example of the Bible right here, you can have like the head, like the text, and then you can do the, you can pass the dynamic parameter right here, because right now we had code as an H1. So this is what you can do as well. Great. I think that's all. Maybe I think the undo command and the undo command right here, that also exists inside here as well. So basically you can just copy and paste this one. So the can do command, this is the one, the register. So maybe we can do, we need to return. So we're gonna merge register together. So we're gonna do that. So merge this one, and then we can do this. We can add more register command. So for example, the undo command. Let's see the undo command right here. And let's do this one right here. So this is will important from lexical as well. So this is going to be a state. We can copy the state from the set, can do or redo this one. I'm gonna copy and paste this two right here. Great. And for the merge register right here, I think we need to install it from another library, which is this one. So if you try to import this one, it's not going to work. So we need to install another library for this one as well. npm, let's do I, and then lexical till right here. Okay, I think for the low priority right here, I'm not really sure what it does. So I'm gonna, the value of this one is gonna be 1. So I'm gonna put 1 right here. And I think this is gonna be the last toolbar that I'm going to work on, which is the undo. So we can do like, put the undo right here. If you look at the code of the undo, which is the, let's do this one, and we can find the undo, maybe the undo or redo. Okay, so this one, and I think we need to dispatch this one so you can see, which is this one. We can just copy and paste the whole things, and this one, and then we can just do the import this one. Great. And so for this, if we go back right now, we should be able to, maybe I can have the tag is like undo, and we have the undo right here. I think we can have like a disable. So if this one is going to be text gray 100, maybe not 500. So it looks something like this. So, but when we type on this one, all right. I think when we type, there should be like dispatch some event that we can undo or redo this one. It looked like the merge right here is not working. The merge, because the merge register right here, I remerge with redo. So we can change this one to undo instead. Okay. Can undo command. And then also this one, we're going to need to set undo command. Can undo as well. Great. So right now, if I type, so you can see it's enabled. So when we click, it's disabled this one as well. Great. So I think that's all. Maybe I think you can play around with this code right now. You understand what everything here. I think one more thing that I wanted to show you is how you're going to save this one. So for example, you can think of it is you work this one with the people. So maybe when you type this one, it's going to be auto save for you, right? So for that, you can do the save within this one right here. I believe inside here, you can use another library. I think maybe use debound. So I think for this one, you can use the library. Let me check on this one. So use debound. Yes. Use debound. Oops. Use debound right here. And I'm going to install this one. Install this use debound. PMI use debound, and inside here you can create like, for example, the function handle save. Okay, and save this one. And for the handle save right here, we're gonna use the use debound callback. Use debound callback, and this one is going to pass the value, which is going to be the content, and then you can do whatever like the content right here. So for example, as of now, I'm going to save the console.log, the content. And right here, you can pass to specify the value. Like this is like 5 milliseconds. And the handle save right here will use it between the update listener right here. And this one is, we're going to check on this one. So this one, we can access another object, which is dirty element. And another one is going to be dirty live. And this one, we can check if dirty element is going to be equal to 0 and dirty live dot size is equal to 0 as well. Okay. All right. Look like we have some error right here. Maybe, okay, the elements dot size as well. So this one is just to check if there's no there's empty value or the value is not changed. So we're not going to run the handle save. So we can just call the handle save, and the handle save right here, we can get the editor state, which is the value right here. Can do JSON.stringify the editor state. Okay. And right now, if we go back into this one, so we can go to the inspect on this one. Go to console.log, and for example, if I type this one right here, so hello world. So right now it's going to save. So maybe we do it again. So you can see right now it's saved right here. As you can see, this is going to be delay like 5 milliseconds because we add specify here. So we don't want to every keystroke right here, we're going to push and save it to the user. So for example, if I keep typing, if I keep changing, we are not doing anything. But after I lift my keyboard and then 5 milliseconds later, it's going to save. It looks like it's not. Maybe I need to refresh and do it again. So let's say hello. Okay. All right. It looked like it's not working. Yeah, it looked like it's not working. Maybe I can remove this one. Okay, right now it's safe, which it shouldn't, right? This one, it shouldn't. For this one, I think I made the wrong mistake. So this one I should be returned. My bad. So if it's this one, we can just return, else we can save this one. Let's try to do it again. So right now it's empty. If I type this one, but if I leave my keyboard, 5 milliseconds later, it's safe. I've typed, I keep typing, that's not going to save. And if I leave my keyboard, it's safe. So this one is stored like this. So in the database, you can store like a string inside your database. Okay. So this is what it looked like. All right, so right now, one last thing before we're gonna end this video is going to show you how to load the state. So let's try to do that. So right here, we're gonna create another component called load state, and we're gonna run this one right here. For load state right here, we can access to the component, which is this editor right here as well. I'm gonna do this the same. We can access to this, and then we can make sure to call the load state in between this one right here. So let's do it. The load state, and inside the load state right here, you can, for example, in this one, you can fetch the data from the database or fetch the data from the local storage and update your state. So this is going to return empty. You don't have to return anything. So for example, right here, we can use the use effects. That is, I'm going to try to simulate like, okay, we are fetching the data from the database and things like that. And for this one, what we need to do is just create the const of the new state of the editor state. It is going to be equal to editor dot path editor, and then this is the value that you're going to pass in. So for example, I think let's try to refresh this one. Let's try to do this. And right now, let's try to type something and try to get the value. So I'm trying to get the value of this one. And let's try to save it somewhere. So this is like the fake value. And maybe let's do the, let's say, const text right here. It is going to be equal to this value. So this one is going to pass the text value inside this one. And after we get this new state, what we need to do is just editor.set state. Set state, and then with the new state right here. Okay, and right now if we go back, if we refresh and wait for a moment, and as you can see right now we have the state right here, so which is really nice. So this is when you fetch the data from the database. And also while it's fetching, so maybe you can do one thing, like for example, so on initial load we're gonna do like is editable. So this one we can mark this one as a read only. So we do editable. I think editable is to false on the initial load. So right now on the initial load, it's editable false. So right now you cannot edit, but after it's load the state, you can do the editor dot editable. I think we can set editable. Yeah, it set editable to true. All right. So right now we do this one, and then right now, as you can see, it's editable to true. You can type and you can do whatever that you want to do before. And so, yeah, I think that's all that I wanted to show you. This is like not a complete show, like, you know, like how to use it with the project, but you know, this is a really good started. Like if you wanted to use this one inside your project, and hopefully that you are learning some things. So all of the thing that I learned this one, it's credited to the documentation. So basically I just copy and paste here, and also there's a video explaining on how to do it as well. So you can see there's a video, for example, the toolbar and heading. So, but it just for me, it's really hard to to watch. So maybe that's why I make another video for this one. But anyway, if you learn something, or yeah, let me know in the comments. All of this thing is credited to these videos, and it's credited to this documentation. So I am not inventing something here. I'm just show you how to use it. And yeah, let me know if you have any comments. Comment down below if you still unclear, or if you wanted me to show you how to do something else with this one. I try to learn how to do it and show it to you guys as well. So thank you for watching, and happy coding, and see you in the next video.